What if I told you you could build an asset online that has more monthly cash flow than a Miami penthouse? And you can build it from scratch starting with $0. That's right, building an email list is literally building you an asset online that will pay you money forever. There's no social media algorithms, no shadow banning, no ad spend needed. That's the power of building an email list. So, my name is Zach Schieffer, and I help businesses start and grow their email list. I primarily work with D2C e-commerce brands, but this strategy is going to work no matter what type of business you're running. So long as you're building an email list, this video will apply. So let's dive in. When you're growing an email list, you're going to run into three different issues. You're going to need to get traffic to your site. You're going to need to convert that traffic into an email subscriber, and you need to keep people on your email list and reduce unsubscribes. Issue number one, you need to get traffic to your website. So how do you do that, Zach? You have to get email subscribers from somewhere. People are not just going to randomly appear, show up on your website like people show up to buy carrots at the local farmer's market. If you're absolutely broke, you need to start somewhere, and I recommend starting with social media. Specifically, some sort of short form platform that blasts out your content to new people. For example, these platforms have great reach. You can start from zero and still get quite a few views. TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Now, these are probably where I'd recommend starting if you want to get the maximum amount of traffic in the least amount of time. You can also look at these other platforms. These two platforms here have okay reach. They're still pretty solid. That would include LinkedIn and Twitter/X. Now we're calling it X nowadays, I guess. And then these platforms here, these third set of platforms are longer term plays and are not going to blast your content out to new people immediately. And that would be Instagram, like regular Instagram posts, as well as YouTube. They're more, again, as I said, long term plays. So they're not going to be immediate traffic boosts. The goal is that you're maximizing frequency and quality of your posts. And if you're doing everything yourself, I recommend focusing on one single short form platform. You want to try to be as active as you possibly can, being involved within your community, finding what truly resonates and commenting on people's posts. Especially, you want to interact with people that are way bigger than you, as well as people who are similar size, but just a little bit bigger. So you have that reach. So you're getting in front of eyeballs some way, somehow. Eventually, you can add more platforms once you have more people to help you out. But overall, what I've seen works best is really narrowing down on one particular platform and going all in until you can bring in some more sales and hire more people. If you're running a B2B business, you can also get more site traffic with different outreach methods, such as cold email, cold DMs, and cold calls. Those are going to still bring traffic to your site and eventually will grow your email list. If and when you have more cash, that's when you can move to paid ads to get newsletter subscribers. And you can infinitely scale that just by clicking a few buttons. You're going to obviously need money to do that, but that's what the goal of starting with $0 is, that you get money and then eventually you can choose more scalable acquisition methods. Issue number two, you have all this traffic, you need to convert it. So you're getting all these site visitors, and now there are a few main ways that you can turn that traffic into an email subscriber. Number one, a site pop-up. So that's going to be a little box on your site that literally pops up to the visitor and it says, you got 20% off, or get our 7-step checklist, or something that they're giving you in exchange for your email. It's a little trade there. Number two is going to be a site footer form. So that's going to be a little box at the bottom of the website that says sign up for our newsletter. Number three would be dedicated opt-in pages. So these are custom landing pages that have some sort of email sign up form, some way to capture emails. Bonus tip here, if you're running an e-com store like majority of my clients are, you want to have the option to subscribe to email marketing at checkout. That's another bonus way that you can get people onto your list. So those are three main ways that you can convert traffic into an email subscriber. Diving into the site pop-up. You want to experiment with a bunch of different offers. You want to test out if you're running some sort of discount. Is it going to make sense to do a percentage off or a dollar amount off? See what really resonates best. If you're running some sort of a lead magnet, so if you're giving a 7-step checklist, your 8-step guide, free video course, whatever it is, experiment with different offers and see what people really resonate and see what truly makes it a no-brainer offer. Hey, I give you this free course, this checklist or whatever, and you give me your email. You want to experiment with all these different ways of getting people onto the list. That's really the biggest lever that I see of increasing opt-in rates. You don't want to ask for too many form fields at once. Generally, I recommend on the first step of your pop-up, just asking for first name and their email. And then on the second step, if you want to ask for their SMS number, you can do that. And I always recommend if you're asking for SMS, give them something new. So it could be an extra 5% off. It could be an extra guide or checklist or something like that. There's a legitimate reason for them to give you their phone number if you're asking for that. And you want to make sure with your site pop-up to split test the targeting and structure the actual copy and design as much as possible. It's so important because really your site pop-up is the main way you're going to get email subscribers, and it's your pretty much top of funnel. The more it converts, the more people are going to be into your email list. Now for your footer form, a lot of people don't do this correctly. I recommend making this form big. So make sure it actually stretches the full width of the page. You want to make sure it also mentions your intro offer. So I see a lot of companies, they make the mistake of just putting their sign up to our newsletter. Nobody cares about your newsletter. They care about what's in it for them. So is it a 20% off discount? Is it a dollar amount discount? They get some sort of guide, some sort of checklist. Give them something. That way, there's a legitimate reason it's going to maximize your conversion rate. And lastly, don't use generic copy on your footer form. Try to make it as great of an offer as you possibly can. And for opt-in pages, these are great if you have a YouTube video or an Instagram video or something like that where you talk about a checklist. You can basically make a mini landing page for that lead magnet or that checklist or that guide or whatever it might be. You can create your own custom little landing page. Definitely recommend that. And then you could, if you talk about a 7-step checklist, you can make an Instagram reel about that 7-step checklist and say, hey, go to the link in bio if you want the checklist. And they give their phone number in exchange for that checklist. Great idea. All right, that was issue number 2. Now on to issue number 3, retaining subscribers. Now people are on the email list. You'll need a few things to make sure that the email subscribers stay subscribed. There are 2 types of emails that you can send to these people that you really need to be thinking about when retaining subscribers. So the 2 types of emails that you can send are going to be newsletters and automations. So newsletters or campaigns are going to be your one-time email blasts. Automations or flows are a series of emails sent after a certain triggered event. So for example, for the automations of the flows, you could have a welcome series flow that's sent after someone signs up to the list. It could be 4 to 8 or more emails that just tell about your brand, give them a discount, ask if they checked out the discount, kind of follows up with them, gives more about the brand story, links them to social media, whatever you want to do that really just gives them that perfect welcome introduction to the brand. Or you could have the abandoned site flow where is triggered after someone visits the site, but they don't take a further action. So if they visit the site and they don't make a purchase, they don't book a call, whatever it is, you can send more information and kind of follow up with them and aim to handle those objections that people have to making a purchase or booking a call or whatever you want. Now, with these 2 newsletters and automations, 2 different types of emails, you need to know how often people should be receiving these emails. So you need to know how often to send to your list and how many automations to send, how many automated emails to send. So it's kind of like that, Goldilocks. You don't want to go too much. You don't want to go too little. Too often, you send emails all the time, you're going to get a ton of unsubscribes, spam complaints, and that's going to really hurt your deliverability. People aren't going to like you as much. Don't want that. Send too little and you're losing revenue. People are barely going to remember that you're even there. So you need to look at your metrics and let the metrics tell you how often you should be sending and if you need to reduce the number of emails going out. So specifically, we like to look at open rates, click rates, and unsubscribe rates as 3 of our top metrics that we look at. Open rates, generally we want to keep these between 30 and 40%. Click rates, generally like to keep these above 1%, and unsubscribe rates, we generally go for less than 0.2%. Also, whenever you're sending these newsletter blasts, you want to look at sending to engaged segments, definitely not your entire list. So for example, you can create a 90-day engaged segment, and that would be anyone who opened or clicked an email in the last 90 days. And you want to make sure that when you send to your 90-day engaged segment that you're getting great open rates, click rates, all that good stuff. If you need to reduce that down to a 60-day engaged, that would just be anybody who opened or clicked within the last 60 days. And that's going to, as you reduce that, going from 90 to 60, that's going to increase your open rates, increase your click rates, all that good stuff. Or if you want to send to more people, you can go from 90 to 120 or 180 day engaged. So you can really play around with those engagement segments to make sure you're sending to your engaged list, not the entire list. All right, that was it. That was how to build an email list from scratch for $0. If you are running a direct-to-consumer e-commerce store and you want help adding 50K or more to your monthly revenue, check out my site, zhsecom.com. That's zhs-ecom.com. Link will be down below. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you like this video and you want more content on how to grow your email list. And let me know down below in the comments, what should I make a video on next? And I'll make sure that it happens. My name is Zach Schieffer, and I'll see you in the next one.